everyone, this is GT Time. I am your host moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us as always, the uniquely talented and knowledgeable panel, including Brandon Jones, who's back.
Yeah. From jury duty.
Back from jury duty.
Justice has been done.
I can talk all about the trial now, so do we want to get into it?
We don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about
fine.
that trial.
Okay.
It wasn't a murder.
No, it wasn't. Sorry.
Daniel Bloodworth, also back from the Borderlands.
Yeah. Secret game was not very secret, and then now it's revealed.
It was a secret, I feel like, for 2 days.
Well, no, it was a secret for over a year.
Sure.
And then somehow everything leaked.
Yeah.
Not from the press, supposedly, so I don't know.
Always a leak. And then, lastly but not leastly, Michael Damiani.
And I will soon be going away for jury duty.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's like, he's not doing a weird joke. You did get called in for jury duty.
It was like after Brandon finished his quest, part 2 of the quest went to me. So,
He's handed it off to you. I feel like old PC, like the games where you would just like say like walk over to the door. That's like that kind of game where the dad dies and then the next guy comes up and.
That doesn't sound like a fun game.
It's not a fun game and it's jury duty and I feel real bad for Damiani to have to go and deal with that. Look at us. Where are we right now? We're in the GameTrailers conference room. We got kicked out of our old space. Because ComedyCentralStudios.com thought that it would be better suited for a little like audition space, and so here we are in this one.
You can't audition in here. It wouldn't work.
Though I guess if you're a listener, like if you are just a listener of this as a podcast, we probably sound better. We're using table mics. Well, let us know.
Hopefully
if
it sounds
great.
better.
Yeah.
I just want to point out I'm using my mic. Well, not my mic, but the mic I use for reviews. So this is 100% pure.
Yeah.
No filter.
The
Straight
voice
up.
of GameTrailers speaking into his main tool.
Also, I would like to give a pro tip.
My tool is close to my face.
That these bricks are not the same bricks that were originally in the final Bossman.
Yep.
Those bricks will probably not be on camera anytime soon.
Not even the same bricks that are used in Mandatory Update.
No.
Turns out our whole building is lined with bricks.
These are all new bricks.
Let's start with the news. Yesterday, or Tuesday, I should say, Nintendo had a big direct focused only on Smash Brothers for the Wii U and Super Smash Brothers for the Nintendo 3DS.
As well as trolling fans.
As well as trolling fans. Such good trolling. Like expert trolling. Biggest news, I think, that came out of it that I want to focus on is that the 3DS version of this game will come out in the summer and the Wii U version will come out 6 months later in the winter.
Which is my pet peeve.
That's a great pet peeve.
I hate people saying winter. Because winter of 2014 is over, unless you're talking about the last week of December, which you're not putting your game out in the last week of December.
Isn't part of November as well?
No. It's like December 22nd is like the first day of winter.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So it's coming very late this year is what that means. And the 3DS version, which can we call it the inferior version? Can we do that?
Basically.
Well, yeah, by design. I mean, there's no way it could ever be... You wouldn't want it to be the superior version, because that would mean the Wii U version really failed.
Yeah, but I mean, normally when you're making 2 versions of a game,
right.
like, you put out the best version first, I feel like.
Sure, yeah. That's what would quote-unquote make sense.
Yes. Damiani, does this make sense?
yes, it does.
Why?
Because the 3DS... So I don't necessarily think the Wii U version is completely finished. I think the 3DS version is polished off a little bit more and it's ready to go. So we kind of discussed this a little bit yesterday, but I feel, just from personal conjecture here,
I love your personal conjecture.
That 3DS is a great convention on-the-go device with street passing, and summer is the heart of convention season, especially like in Southern California, which is where all the 3DS sales in the world matter.
Yeah.
So by releasing it probably in June or July, people are going to buy it. They're going to be talking about Smash Brothers. It's a good time because nothing ever comes out in the summer. There's like nothing in summer. I think the last big summer release I can remember from Nintendo, not from like, because Sony releases stuff in June like all the time apparently. Sure. But like Star Fox 64 back in like 1997 in July is like the last big Nintendo release in like June or July I can remember.
I think Mario Sunshine came out in the summer.
That was August. I don't count August as summer.
Sure.
June, July.
You guys have weird
June, July is
August
June, July.
Close to something, dude.
Even though August is the hottest month, it is not part of gaming summer.
Sure, absolutely.
Gaming summer is June and July for gamers.
Okay.
And this game's coming out at a time when people want games. Like that old thing, like, oh, Hollywood
What if this
blockbuster
game
come
actually
out.
comes out in August?
No. It's coming
They've
out.
only said
will.
summer.
It probably will come out at the end.
No, it's gonna come out in June, like right after
It's gonna come
E3.
out
Perfect
August.
time.
So basically, on that note, though, on that idea of like splitting it up will reinforce people to buy both. Personally, it means that I will definitely buy both. I'll buy this one in the summer, and then I'll buy it again when it comes out in the winter.
I guess that's true. Like, you probably would not buy both if
they're
it came out at the
same time.
exact same time.
Yeah, you wouldn't. You would buy. Most people would probably be. I think it would hurt the 3DS's sales if they came out at the same time. And right now, the 3DS has a larger install base, and they're maximizing their chance to sell more copies on the 3DS by putting it out in advance of the Wii U version, so they get all of those sales for people who, I just want to play some kind of Smash Bros. I've been waiting. I'm going to buy both no matter what. I'm going to get it early. And then people who might be on the fence about which version to get, like, oh, my friends are going to be playing the 3DS. I have a 3DS, or, man, the 3DS is cheaper than a Wii U. I'll go get that right now. I think it gives more incentive to people to buy it. It's an easier buy for some people to get it when it's not coming out alongside the Kyle Bossman's superior version Wii U one, which if it came out on the same date, people are like, I'm only getting one. Especially if you don't have either systems, like you're not getting both. Like very few people are going to buy both. And if you have both systems, you're probably like, I'll get the Wii U version right now. The 3DS one I could wait off on. I could wait on the 3DS one. Like Nintendo's like, we got to do something about this. We gotta put this one out now, like sooner. People buy that, and people could be talking about Smash Brothers and be discussing it, and then boom, in November, December, when the next one comes out, the Wii U comes out, people could be excited about Smash U. We have like 6 months of like Smash sales and Smash discussion going on. We don't need to release any more games. Our game shortage and drought is problem solved right there.
So actually, along those lines, Brandon, I want to talk to you about that. What do you think Nintendo can do between now and winter for the Wii U? I mean, there's Mario Kart 8. I think the assumption was Smash Bros. Would come soon after. Not soon after, but how can they build up their install base between now and then to actually sell a lot of this game?
I don't own a Wii U. I don't know.
What would it take for
I honestly don't keep my ear like that close to the ground to hear like Nintendo news.
Right now, there's no announcements. There's like Yoshi's Yarn, but like, what would it take for you, Brandon Jones?
Well,
to
there's, there's also
like what franchises?
Bayonetta and whenever Xenoblade's probably next year. But
you mean like franchises? Like what games do I want to see, or what I want to see them?
Oh, absolutely. Actually,
they could announce fun like downloadable stuff. You know, like old games that you can access via the the Wii U service. But
they've been doing that this whole
what
time.
if I told you they already have it?
No. But I mean, games that they don't have yet. You know, like they could release more fun stuff that I haven't heard of. But
Mario 3
I
is still
couldn't
not
see
there.
them. There's no way they're going to announce something now and it's going to come out this year. Like that's not Nintendo style.
That's what I'm scared of.
Wait,
That's what I'm
no.
truly
They
scared of.
announced like Excitebots like 2 weeks before it came out.
That was so
I mean,
long ago.
Nintendo's style is to do that.
It's not going to get me. That's a great example of something that wouldn't get me to buy a Wii U.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't think of Mario Kart will probably do it. I definitely have the Mario Kart blood in my friends, from old is still strong. So I'm sure I can get them together on a couch and play that.
Yeah,
and you can play that game reliably online, which we're not so sure about Smash Brothers.
But Mario Kart, we do know it'll probably be okay online. What's the difference? Why is that? Why is one game great and one game messed up?
I think you can have a little bit of leeway on a racing game sometimes.
Right.
Whereas, like, fighting game, if you don't have everything perfect, then it's kind of a mess.
Yeah, every single input has to be there.
But that's not encouraging. So yeah, I'm not really sold. I don't know because I don't have a PS4 yet, and so I'll definitely be buying that probably this month, probably next week. So
for the release of Final Fantasy 14.
For Final Fantasy 14, yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
So again, it's just you finally have the game. We're like, oh yeah, I have to play this. But I can be talked out of playing Smash Brothers and Mario Kart.
So Damiani, do you think this confirms that Zelda for Wii U is not coming out this year?
It is about every game.
We needed this to confirm that?
Yeah.
I could have told you that 10 years ago.
Sure.
Really?
Yeah. No, I think this confirms that Zelda Wii U is never coming out on Wii U.
Talk about that. What do you Zelda
Wii U is going to come out on a different console?
There is no Zelda Wii U. They haven't shown anything. And then when E3 comes by and there's no Zelda there, I think that will be it.
Sure.
When Zelda is not at E3, other than we're working on it, we can't wait to share more info with you, but we have nothing to show you here. It's like, that's never coming out. That's the last nail in the coffin right there, is when they don't actually show anything for Zelda Wii U. You'll see Hyrule Warriors, and they'll help people in the confusion, oh, there's the new Zelda Wii U.
It looks good, doesn't it?
It looks good, yeah, it's coming. Oh, yeah. And by the way, did you see that Sonic Lost World Zelda level, Legend of Zelda Zone?
Zelda's on Wii U. I've seen it.
Yeah, it's
I've
on
seen
Wii
it
U
in
already.
HD. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, what press conference does the Hyrule Warriors appear at? Is that Nintendo?
Nintendo Direct.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I mean,
Nobody else will have it in a press conference.
Oh,
so I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, that would be at Nintendo's, yeah.
Okay.
more than ever, I think this year at E3,
Which might be a Nintendo
Nintendo's
Direct.
doing another Direct.
Yep.
I think after this week's Smash Bros. One, and it kind of went off really well.
Yeah, I forgot they did that.
They get their
That's right.
trending hashtags. Like, I think they're ready to just commit to only doing directs and no more press conferences.
It was so funny to compare, like, you know, like the magnetism of watching those press conferences, like the hush that went over like all of the people behind the scenes in production when we were like doing live coverage,
Yeah.
versus like, you know, 2 or 3 of you guys huddled around a computer with like the stream stuttering and just like, what? I can't see, who is that? Like, you know, just like the excitement level is palpable, you know, in comparison.
There's a
So-
huge difference. It feels different to watch a press conference than it does to watch a stream.
Because it's rehearsed. Because, you know, like, all the announcements are going to make in all those moments, it's like, I hope they pull it off. Where it's like, I know they'll pull it off because they already cut this and watched it a week ago, you know?
Yeah.
So it's already prefab. So it's like Dancing with the Stars. You know, it's like, I want to see them fall.
Blood, do you think there's a chance Nintendo will be going back to doing live press conferences?
Yeah, I think so. I think at least from the press side, there's probably a lot of feedback, you know, about how terrible that press conference was last year that most people didn't even know happened. You know, but like all of us just crammed into that booth, like trying to get a look at them talking, and then it's like, oh, you know, go play games for 5 minutes and then come back and we're gonna have another announcement. You know, it was really weird.
That's where Reggie said, "Play the game."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so you'll have to get Marco to dig that clip out.
But yeah, that was a weird thing. I forgot that even happened.
Yeah, most people did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Wii Fit Trainer, right?
Yeah, Wii Fit Trainer was there.
As everyone's kind of like looking over each other's shoulders to like even get a
And,
view.
and,
of it.
then see, that was the thing, was it was still basically a normal press conference. It was just presented in a really funky, not helpful way.
So I hope they do. I hope they have a press conference for press people, get the Bloodworths a good view over their screens.
You'd think Bloodworth would get a good view, you know?
Oh no, I was up in this weird tower where we had the camera perched. But yeah, that's the thing. It was like I'm like looking across everybody's heads.
It's not fun.
It's just like from watching the video, watching I guess your video of that event, it's felt empty. It felt like you aren't trying hard enough, basically.
Yeah.
Which is I think what is going on with the Wii U. It seems like Nintendo, you're not trying hard enough. And it all just seems to tie in with itself. And I feel like just a killer press conference could turn emotions around at least.
I am really excited about the 3DS. I don't know if that's in any way relevant to this conversation.
It absolutely
but like, I'm in
is,
love
yeah.
with that console right now.
It is exciting that I will be able to play Smash Brothers in the summer. The inferior version, yes, but still a version of that game.
I think that really dawned on me after that announcement. I was like, oh man, we're all going to be playing the crap out of that. Like anybody who has a 3DS when that game comes out this summer is going
You're absolutely right.
to get it. We're all
Yeah.
going to be going nuts and playing. And
I'm just curious as to how well it's going to work, because Smash Brothers is one of those games that's very designed around the controllers it's been on.
Yeah.
So I feel like on the 3DS, like they have to change it somehow. Like it's going to be a little different.
Absolutely. I mean, there's just like a slide pad, and like
Yeah.
the game's about.
Please don't use that. I do not want to use that for Smash Brothers.
But like doing a smash attack is one of the most fun things. That's when you smash an analog stick over and hit A at the same time, charge it up. I actually love that. Very few games do that actually, and that is so weird to do on a 3DS. Damiani, do you think the game control-wise can work on a 3DS?
What is it?
Nope.
Circle Pad Pro?
That's not
Circle
gonna happen.
Pad Pro.
Yeah, Circle Pad Pro.
Do they even sell that anymore? Where do you get that?
For the XL, Nintendo directly or
Yeah, exactly.
GameStop? I think GameStop sells them.
sells them.
Yeah,
Online.
online, of course.
Oh, I mean, what? I think it has enough buttons on the shoulder buttons, the 4 face buttons, and then I don't know if they're gonna use the D-pad. That will probably be annoying. Not to be able to use the D-pad for movement. I think you'd have to use the analog for smash attacks because it's, it has to sense like the.
So you think that use that like they use the yellow C stick?
Well, maybe the D-pad could be mapped to D-pad's gonna be taunts.
Okay, sure.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be. But when you just like lightly hold forward and hit like B, that's an attack. But when you it won't do the smash.
Yeah, you absolutely.
But then when
need
you
the slide
jam
pad
it,
for that.
that's how you do the smash. Like you're gonna have to use the slide pad.
Yeah, like Samus's 2 missiles, basically. Yeah.
So
I just mean that.
Or
like,
they're just
I don't
going to put all the Smash attacks on the touchscreen.
Oh, gross. Oh, blood, gross.
No, that'll be
Oh,
Final
no.
Smash. That'll be a mini game to trigger your Final Smash. Complete the mini game.
They have not talked at all about the touchscreen.
Hack
I
the
forgot it
panel.
existed.
Dude, we've only seen this like one main screen, right?
Yeah.
We don't know what's on the bottom.
Oh, no.
Do we know anything about the Street Pass stuff?
Nope.
No, they're just like, oh, we'll
Nothing
tell you
at all.
about
I'm sure Street Pass for that game will be amazing.
Yeah.
I'm excited
There's
about
no
that.
doubt in my mind that there's one thing that they will nail. It will be Street Pass.
Just giving us like costumes and stuff. I don't even know what to trade with.
Trophies.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, they've got so much they could do with that.
It's gotta be
Because
how you
that's just
unlock
like a
it.
total fan service side of Smash Brothers. It's always been like even like it's probably equal to the fighting itself. It's like you've got this cool fighting game with Nintendo characters, but then you've got all this other craziness.
So when you
and
play-
like this best recordings of all this music from all these games.
Oh, it's like a museum. The game works as a museum sometimes.
Yeah.
Did you in either Melee or Brawl get all the trophies?
All of them, no. Like that's. I mean, I
insane.
tried
It's
at
so hard.
points, but
Yeah.
eventually you just kind of peter out.
Yeah. Damiani, have you?
I don't think so.
You, I felt, were the kind of guy who'd be like, I have all the trophies.
No. I had to, for modifying Brawl, I had to download a save. So with my Wii, you can use any save. It doesn't matter if it's locked out from online. Like, that doesn't affect it. I did download a save that had everything unlocked because there was some stuff I needed for the modifications to work. So I did have all the trophies that way, but that's not real.
I don't even feel comfortable talking about that on the show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Your modifications.
I'm sorry.
Might have to cut that.
That was on the little band list. Modifications and cheats. I was like,
What
no fun
is
mode.
in your modded Smash Brothers? What do you consider the weirdest character?
The weirdest character?
What's the weirdest character you've downloaded and
there
put
was
in your game?
there was like Billy Mays versus
I don't even know who Billy Mays is.
He's the commercial
The
guy.
product guy passed
Oh
away.
yes.
Oh, Billy Mays.
it was like Billy Mays versus I think Mike Hagar.
Okay.
Who
That was
won?
pretty good. I played as Billy Mays and he was a Ganondorf replacement, so that was pretty good.
That's so wrong. That's real. I don't feel comfortable about that at all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not
I like
sorry.
I like having
We went down
I
a
like
rabbit hole.
having rules of nature play in my Brawl game while Naruto fights like Cloud or Sephiroth. It's pretty cool.
Can you genuinely put Rules of Nature in your modified
Oh, yeah.
version of
Oh, yeah.
Smash Bros?
There's a program that lets you convert any like MP3 or WAV files to, I think it's BRTSM. Sorry, I forget the extension. It's Nintendo's proprietary
Sure.
sound file. Like you can convert any normal sound file to that. It's basically a streaming looping file format, and then you put it back into your Brawl directory, and then you can play custom music on any of your stages.
So this is a weird thing, actually. This seems like, to me, the most customized fighting game you can buy.
No.
Yeah.
Wait, by the Nintendo Direct?
No. By what you just described.
No,
Like, it
this
sounds
is
like more
modified.
people have
Oh,
modded
yeah.
Brawl than any other fighting game, I feel like.
I mean, Mugen is basically.
Yeah.
all that is.
That means-
Mugen, I feel like, doesn't count because that's like a free online thing.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess that's
Yeah,
probably
if you look,
number one.
if anything has a PC version, there are way more mods. Like Street Fighter 4 on PC, people
All
did
those
some
weird
crazy
skins.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just if it's easy to do, like it was just easy to do on Wii.
Doesn't sound at all easy to do.
At the end, it was relatively easy to do. You like to do modified Brawl. You didn't have to hack your Wii or anything like that. Like you just needed an SD card with the right files on it.
Sure.
And then you launched the level editor for the Brawl thing. You had to delete the existing ones, then relaunch it with your SD
Really
card in there,
technical.
and then
The
yeah.
level editor for the Brawl thing.
It officially like makes me uncomfortable to have those characters in the game.
Which characters?
Billy Mays.
What?
I don't want him in that game.
It's
And,
the-
like,
it's
it
the-
bothers me.
I
that
had
someone
like
put
the
him in there.
Ninja
It's the
Turtles.
ghost of Billy Mays.
I had like Han Solo was in there at one point.
No, that makes me angry.
Why?
I don't know. To me, that the fun of Smash Bros. It's just so finely tuned. You know, it's just
Finely tuned.
yeah. It's
Brawl.
like
Oh boy.
I'll say it again. Finely tuned.
Oh,
Is this the Brawl
this is-
podcast? What's going on
This
here,
is,
folks?
I mean, this is
Jeez.
coming from a guy who says Smash Bros. So
Oh my gosh! All right, we should move on.
Wrong.
Brandon's right; it had become the Brawl podcast somehow. Borderlands, the pre-sequel, was announced this week officially, as we sort of hinted at earlier. Bloodworth, you got to see it even. I'm curious for your opinion first. Are you finding it harder to get excited for last-gen games?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that for sure. But I also, Borderlands is a weird case because it's a last gen game in which like you almost feel like there's not a lot of ambition behind it. Because
it's called the pre-sequel. Yeah, it sounds like this is not going to be a full.
Well,
game.
and they're also like very clear, like this is the Borderlands 2 engine, and it's just all new content in it, and they are doing cool stuff. I definitely like that they're creating like more vertical spaces with the jetpacks and that kind of thing. But I guess it's hard when they have put out so much content that I kind of feel like I'm over Borderlands right now.
Right, you've already played a lot of Borderlands 2 DLC at this point.
Yeah. And a lot of that was, I guess I was using the same character or whatever, but they were separate stories. They didn't necessarily tie into the main story or anything, so they felt like mini episodes.
Yeah, and then here's just like a bigger mini episode.
Right.
Go buy it, everyone, on your current gen consoles. Can we call it last gen or current gen?
Last gen.
Last gen, yeah.
Damiani, can you confirm this?
I say new gen for the...
Yeah. PS3, 360, and Wii are last gen, or
Officially last
the
gen.
older machines.
I don't like calling them older machines either.
That's what some people say because they can't say last gen yet.
And of course, they're only going to show people the PC version because the PC version looks good.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it is interesting to not just consider games that have yet to be released for the last gen and not the current gen that we're in, but games that are announced in the current gen for last gen. It's like we already passed that. The Wii U and the PS4 and the Xbox One are all out now, and then here we're getting this announced game that is only going to exist in the last gen.
Exactly.
So I think that's that's what feels weird about it.
Is it hard for you to get excited, Brandon?
Not hard, but I definitely feel affected because there's like that dreaminess that you had of those games before any of this, next gen, fervor started that still haven't come out yet. It feels a little weird.
Yeah, I kind of understand their reasoning. It's sort of like, they got through their planned DLC. And it's like, oh, people are really buying a lot of this. We should keep making it. And then they got through another wave of DLC, and it's like, okay,
people are still buying.
We need to keep doing something, and we got all these other things in the fire, and we don't. I think there's a sense that like maybe they don't want to put something on the new machines that doesn't really start pushing the barriers and rethinking things.
And with the expansions for the first Borderlands, you were the same characters, right? It was just new content and new places to go. You were leveling up the same characters.
Yeah, the characters were the same. I think, they added one new character in Borderlands 2. But this time, with the pre-sequel, they have, 4 newish characters.
So different from the expansions. And I always... you're giving me a really evil face right now.
I can't be interested in any of those characters that are just like, this one was in a DLC for a little while.
I remember playing GoldenEye back in the N64 days, way before DLC ever came out. And I remember hearing about Perfect Dark and being so frustrated that Perfect Dark took forever to come out. And I was like, just give me more levels. Just make it literally release another cartridge for GoldenEye. Just have it be completely different, like VR missions. Have to be a totally different, clump of levels. And I would
envision DLC.
And I would play the crap out of that if they had just released that because it took 4 or 5 years for Perfect Dark to come out.
Actually, it was only 3 years.
It was 3 years.
That's the funny thing. When we look back at N64 era, everything feels so much longer than it was.
And I was a lot younger. But so on one hand, I can't fault them for making more cool stuff to play. It's like if there's an audience, which there clearly is, and
that was their point. It's like this is the best-selling 2K game ever, meaning that Rockstar doesn't count in this conversation.
Sure.
And that more people have bought Borderlands 2 than have bought new consoles.
I bet there are plenty of next-gen games that will be released in the next couple months that will make way less money than the pre-sequel for Borderlands.
That's fair. Yeah. Okay. You know what? You changed my perspective on this. Basically, calling it a pre-sequel is saying hey, we're making a game to make money. We know people will buy this. Here it is. It's not a full game, but just go buy it.
I'll tell you what felt weird was Gears of War Judgment. That definitely felt like a step down.
Absolutely.
Because the series is so serious.
Yeah.
To have this and the story's totally going to go in this direction. But for a series like Borderlands to be more stuff. That semes really in line with their marketing and the attitude they have about the series.
Well, I think too, story-wise, they at least have a good plot hole that they can fill. Because you made this big jump from the first game to the second game where all this stuff happened in between. It's like, okay, now we can say what happened. And it's not just rehashing something you already know. So I think that at least works in its favor. Whereas, what they do with Metroid story-wise is strange because they keep trying to, shove things into this gap that has already been filled multiple times.
Speaking of big jumps, the low gravity stuff looks like fun.
Man,
I'm excited about that. It looks like fun.
it makes me angry that it's tied to your oxygen. Oh, I don't want to. Having like a little ticking bar the whole time, it just.
Yeah, it's like Lost Planet. Yeah.
Another bit of news. Last of Us Remastered was officially revealed this week. This is a PS4 version of last year's PS3 title, The Last of Us. Damiani, would you double dip for $60?
No.
Why not?
Because I already played The Last of Us on PS3, and I feel that type of game, I got everything out of it that I was going to get out of it by playing it that one time. Like, I didn't feel the need to go back and replay through it, because it's Naughty Dog crafted a very specific story for that game. I experienced it. I don't need to go see it. I mean, it looked really good when I played it. I don't need to see it like, oh, it looks even better now. It's like, I feel like this remastered stuff is... I see a lot of people that are excited for this, for a remaster.
Yeah.
And I get excited for remasters when it's like at least more than a generation old. Like, this is a game that's not even a year. I mean, it's not even going to be... Will it be a year old by the time it
It'll
comes out?
probably be 1 year old.
Or 1 year old. That's like... that's just too soon to me. I know why they're doing it, because they need to fill in the gap for PS4 releases till they get to the next wave of games. So, hey, guys, like... Let's do a remastered version. We already developed it on like the system, and you could upscale it a bit. Like, come on, just do that.
I kind of feel like I could see in The Last of Us, as good as it looked, I could see where it was being held back in terms of like that texture detail and things like that. So I think there probably is some kind of sense of, this is, around the corner, let's keep some high quality assets around, and like, let's, clean it up down the line after we're done with it. I think that there is, a case for that, but double dipping is, that's not really for me. I've already played the game twice. I played the DLC. If it comes out on PlayStation Plus, then, maybe I'll pop in and check out the first couple of chapters and see how it looks. But I don't think it's wrong to charge $60 for a game like that if somebody hasn't already bought it.
Yep.
But it would be nice if they had some kind of upgrade path like they did when they first launched the system.
Oh, right. Like, I got Flower for free because I already owned it.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous. But more like in tune with like the Assassin's Creed things where it's like upgrade for $10, that kind of thing.
Right.
Got you. Did you just say that you think maybe when they were developing the game, they're like, oh, well, we'll have a remastered version, so let's keep these assets around for that?
Yeah, they obviously had a team of engineers that were already working on PS4 stuff.
I guess so. To me, I don't want to even imagine that they were thinking about the PS4 while
for an exclusive game. That was what's one of the tent poles of the PlayStation 3. Throughout its lifetime. That was one of the biggest games that was ever released for that system.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'm sure they. And I could almost see the other side of the coin, Damiani, where it's like, because it's so close to this gen, that's every reason to remaster it, because it's like you just to do it now. It's fresh in everybody's mind. You have the same people that can contribute to it.
Yeah.
I am totally ashamed that I will be playing that on PS4 just because.
Why would you be ashamed?
Because I really should play something else. Come on, I played that game. When I saw that game had New Game Plus, I was like, oh god, and I just took up 3-4 more days of my life just like going back through it again another time. But it's just such a damn good game, and the voice acting, the music, and everything is so. It's the kind of game where, like, I would probably do what you just said, where it's like, oh, check out the first couple missions, and then I'll just play it. I'll just, like, blink, and then before I know it, like, game's over.
So actually, a really cool incentive, besides it being, whatever, better frame rate and image quality and whatever, is there's going to be commentary during cutscenes.
Oh, yeah. That's something that I loved back on GameCube, Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron had it? Oh, it did,
Yeah.
didn't it?
Yeah.
I remember those. Dude, good pull. Because I was trying to think of like more games with commentary. There aren't a lot. Portal had it.
Had a great
Oh, yeah.
commentary.
Valve's
Yeah.
done it a couple of times, I think.
Right, yeah, that's where Gaben comes from, actually. It's his email address, and he tells you how to email him, like, while you're in the commentary.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, exactly. I want more commentary and more games, I feel like. Why doesn't that happen more?
Yeah, I think it's probably it's a time constraint thing. Like, you don't have time to... Like, they're pushing the game out the door at the last minute. Like, a movie, like, it gets put out to theaters, and then it gets put on DVD. Like, there's time for people to, like, step back and process and then be able to create commentary. But in games,
They're
you
crunching
don't...
up till...
Yeah, you don't have that luxury of time to even do it. It's not even a matter of constraints on that level.
like when I'm reviewing a game or working on a retro episode or something, I'm like, oh, I want to do a couple gameplay videos and stuff, and I'm done. And then, like when I'm done editing, like I'm finished. I walk away, and I'm like, I can't even imagine that compared to like finishing a game and just being like, we're done. You know, why would we put more work on ourselves
take
when
45 minutes
my
out
wife
to go
hasn't
do it.
seen me in 72 hours?
So Damiani, the same way that like a movie works, where somebody's just like, oh well, I'll wait for it to come out on DVD instead of like watching it at the theaters. Do you think people will eventually start saying, oh, well, I'll wait for the remastered version to come out?
You better believe this is happening with that Borderlands game we just talked about.
People are going to be
They
like,
say it's not happening.
Yeah.
But they're saying it's not happening because they want to make a good product and they don't want to split the team up so much. So guess what? When they're done, they're going to make the remastered version, even if they will not say anything about it right now. That's happening.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I want that version that's going to have commentary in it. You know what I mean? I don't want to buy a game twice. Damiani, what game would you buy with commentary in it?
The commentary?
Yeah.
Like during the cutscenes? I'd rather no. See,
I love that. Thank you for your honest
That's
opinion.
great.
like I watch a movie with commentary because it's passive, and if I've seen the movie enough, I already know it. Like I want insight, but I'd honestly, I like behind the scenes stuff about the making of a product, like a movie or a game. I don't feel like if it's relevant to what's going on in like the context of like a cutscene, then that's cool. Like the director is telling me like, and the writer like, oh, this scene like right here, like we did this originally and we had to change it because the ESRB was like or something like that.
Yeah,
like awesome. Most of the game is gameplay, and like I don't really want. Like if I'm playing it, I don't want to hear like I know that's not what they're doing with Last of Us, but like if someone would ever do like I'm in the middle of playing like Super Mario Galaxy like 3 and like I'm doing my platforming and like all of a sudden you hear a translator's voice come on from Miyamoto saying like this part was like no,
yes.
I don't want to
no,
I don't want to know that when I'm playing. No,
absolutely.
I
Yes.
want to see a produced video of a produced like documentary that like talks about the making of it. That's something I'm more interested in.
The God of War games used to have those. They were great.
So, yeah, something like that is more. I'd rather see it like that. I don't know if I want to, unless it's a cutscene and it's a game and it's one I've seen like gone through several times. Like I don't have, especially like when there's talking on top of talking. I know they mix the audio levels and you can change that, but I'd rather see something like produced where. It feels like sometimes there might be nothing to talk about, so there's like telling anecdotes, and which are good too. It's just with a video game, I feel like a lot of it's gameplay, and I hope they never do talking over gameplay unless it's like something like Stanley Parable where it's an intentional. It's not commentary. It's like part of the experience and doesn't detract from.
You want a mini doc. You want to be like going.
Yeah, I want like a bonus feature. Like,
yeah.
Hey, you beat Last of Us Remastered. Guess what? Here's a giant documentary about like the making of the Last of Us. Like that you've unlocked. It's not on the PS3 version. It's here. And I wish they would release that separately.
Like the Half-Life stuff? I mean, that was kind of like you walked up to nodes, right?
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
You walked up and you had them play a file at some point.
What was nice about those is you got breaks in between gameplay, in between the stuff that they would say. And it was very poignant and quick about the environment that you were in. And I think that's a little bit better because I think that's what's the best commentaries are all about those moment-to-moment things.
You're
about
in
like
it at that moment.
hearing the designers laugh, like hearing the cast of the Goonies laugh at like that specific moment in the Goonies.
You're right. There is a difference between that. Yeah,
so like some of my favorite commentary things like from Portal, they were like this window in front of you wasn't there, and because it wasn't there, players would just walk down and grab the portal gun. So we were like, whoops, we have to put a window there. And it's like if I saw that in a documentary, it'd be great, but it's really fun to be in the environment so I can pick where I'm looking while I'm hearing that. But if it goes on for like 5 minutes, then it can become
like
kind of
let me
boring.
play. Yeah.
But if it's just a quick bit, so or you could even set it up if you didn't have nodes like the battle conversations in Bravely Default, where you can just skip those, or you can be like, yeah, I'll stop and have them have a conversation. Where like in the bottom screen you can see like, oh, I queued a commentary thing, and you play it, and it's like, oh, it's relevant to where I'm at right now.
You know what's funny is when you say that they probably just don't have time to add commentary to most games. Like the reason Valve gets to is they have all the time they possibly want. That's why they get to add commentary into their games.
And that's all they just make Valve products. That's all they do.
Yeah,
They're like Apple. They're
Well,
just
also Valve
product.
is, there's less. I feel like there's less of a sense of limitation on them to add stuff like that in a patch. They could, they'll keep tweaking their game here and there.
Oh, right, because you got it off Steam.
Yeah.
You can just download it off the patch.
They're also really pretentious, and so they want to, like everybody would really care what we have to say.
They're not though. In those things, they're just like, hey, yeah, I just was looking at some reference art for this, and I just thought this would be kind of cool. Like if you dig it, let us know. That kind of they're all weird. Like Gabe gives you his email address. Like if you just want to ever email me.
So can I put in a request for final Bosman episodes with commentary? Can we? do that? Can I have like a sub link?
They're not good enough. Like Valve games are good enough to like.
Timeline commentary.
We did that actually.
Metal Gear timeline
Podcast.
commentary. How about that?
That was like what the podcast was.
Yeah, actually,
But
it was
I felt
cool.
like- yeah. Oh no, that's what we wanted to do during the. Sorry, real quick. We wanted to do that during the panel. Remember when I didn't
Yeah,
bring the
yeah.
right version? Like, well, let's just do like talking commentary.
But they all wanted to
But I was
watch
like,
it,
no,
yeah.
a lot of people here haven't seen it yet. They're gonna get annoyed if we start talking over this stuff. And I don't know. It just depends on your audience, I guess.
Yeah, definitely the audience has to have watched it once or played through it once first before you start doing commentary over it. But I'm all for it. I'm tempted, honestly, to double dip because of that commentary. I think that could be a big deal. Oh, I wanted to talk about one last thing about The Last of Us. This is a tiny weird thing that's probably only a big deal to me. On the box art, you see these little leaves next to over 200 Game of the Year awards. This is the first game box art I've seen use these leaves, which are traditionally on movie posters that have earned trophies and awards.
I never thought about those leaves. What the hell do those leaves mean? Why isn't it like
There's
a
like
medal
a-
or like a banner
Olympic
or a
wreath,
flag
right?
or a coin or it's like leaves?
I feel like it started with like can maybe, and then now it's just here cans, can't
boy.
imagine like why they feel okay with putting those leaves on a game box.
Yeah, it's funny. It kind of trumps all of the because you usually have quotes like amazing or
Oh, like
best
Batman.
game of the year. Yeah,
Batman's worst example. Yeah,
Yeah.
Batman's all over.
But it's it just kind of sums it all up. They're just like, hey, 200. How about a number? Like that's better than any one review quote.
Yeah.
But I've never seen that before either.
To me, it's like we're just as good as movies. Do you know? That's
I
kind of
just think
that's the
it's, I
implication.
just think
I
it's
get.
something that's just, like, oh, you gotta throw this stupid thing on the box. Let's do something that's at least somewhat classy.
It is classy.
When is this happening? Remastered?
I don't know if we have a release date yet. In fact,
I
I'm
don't
pretty
think
sure
they
we
really
don't.
intended to release it when they did.
Yeah, it was kind of like the rumors got too much. The Sony president from Turkey, I think, said, "Hey, it's coming," and it's like, "Wait, hold on, don't say that."
Well, then it leaked on the store.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't think it has a release date yet. They don't even know if it's going to be 60 frames per second yet. They're targeting it.
I like your Turkish accent. It's coming. It's good. Last of Us, you like.
It's like you weren't supposed to. I honestly like. I really wonder how things are like, how information is spread amongst all of the little obscure countries among the world that have Sony presidents in them.
Poorly.
Yeah,
Probably.
Well,
I mean, there's no way.
I
There's
think
too many people.
I think pretty well most of the time. The fact that most of the time things don't leak from Turkey means that generally there's good communication from somewhere in Japan to Turkey. That most of the time doesn't come through, and this time
you just don't tell them,
Yeah.
But like maybe there were so many next gen meetings, or maybe there was so like they said something, or somebody made a joke at a press conference, or like at a intercompany press conference where they're like, "Yeah, the HD version, wink,"
Yeah.
So like he knew from that, but like he's not at on the ground floor as far as like when it's going to be released. And
I
what the
wish I
fine
wrote down
details
his
are.
name.
Like that's how you solve that problem. Is you just don't tell anybody.
exactly.
You keep it such a tight internal.
But if like I'm president of Sony at Turkey, like I want to know. Like, tell me. Don't just like drop that. And like, I don't want to know when everyone else learns.
Then you should never be in business management, Kyle, because day one you're going to run out screaming.
Other big news, I guess, kind of news. Fortnite had it's like they called it a reveal this week in Game Informer. Like it was revealed as a trailer forever ago at VGA's, I think. But Game Informer cover this month. Brandon, you're nodding like you're excited about Fortnite. Please explain what excites you about this.
I just love that type of game, Minecraft, but with a kind of more specific bent towards the Minecraft is kind of like there are monsters, but you can totally ignore them. Whereas like with Fortnite, like that's the game, and just the harvesting, building, and the strong difference between day and night.
I don't think you can ignore the monsters in Minecraft.
You don't have to make a game of it, though.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
sure.
Like you can build
You can go in build mode
You just
and
get
just-
into the tunnels and you're done. And if
Yeah.
you like pop into a tunnel and see something, and you're like, I don't want to go there. Because in Fortnite, like if you want to level up, you have to destroy. Like they're coming. Like they're gonna. And in Minecraft, you can build a wall and then boom, the creeper's not going to get me. Where in this game, like you have to, your defenses have to get better and better. And just that tower defense, you got a base and all these monsters are coming. And like I said, like that oh no, the sun's going down. I just love that aesthetic. I thought Don't Starve was going to be that, and I was kind of disappointed with that game a little bit. It's a little simple.
How does the word free to play, the phrase free to play, make you feel about it?
I don't hate free to play.
Okay.
I'm actually one of the people that I don't like that those words don't leave a sour taste in my mouth. So
I'm so happy
okay
we
with
have
that.
someone on this panel who is excited about the game.
Because it can be done well. I've just played so many free-to-play games that are great, so I know it can be done well.
Sure.
I'm just not like, I don't know, I don't get surprised by that. Free-to-play? You're trying to make money? What?
What I find interesting about it is I kind of look at what they're doing, and you brought up a good point about, man, like that video.
Yeah, if
like,
you watch the...
I don't want to have anything to do with Gears. Like, we're not just Gears, like, over and over. It's like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, so that should be worth mentioning. If you go to the Game Informer, if you see, like, the article they wrote for, like, this initial thing, there's a video that plays, and it shows, like, interviews with everyone from Epic. And they say things like what Bloodworth just said. They just say things just like, yeah, we just want to show that Epic is not just Gears of War, things like that.
It's like they got pigeonholed for a generation. But but what I wanted to say originally about that is that what they're doing with this, it kind of, like, it really makes me feel like this is what Horde mode was trying to be. But they didn't really have enough time to build that up out of it. Sure. Like, especially in Gears 3, where you were, like, building more things.
And upgrading them and things.
Yeah. I really feel like that's what they were trying to go towards, but they just didn't have enough time to, like, really put that in there because they had to do all this story stuff and whatever.
That whole crunch where you don't get to do any commentary.
Right.
Damiani, do you think they're happy to get rid of Gears of War?
I think at this point, yeah. I think those guys are glad to just be working on anything else other than Gears, and I think they're glad that they were finally able to, like, get it out there. It's amusing hearing about this being re-revealed, I guess, this week.
Yeah.
Because, sorry to talk about another podcast, but on another podcast, there's an email section, and people have been writing in anonymously.
You can say what the other podcast
Okay, so on
is.
the Bombcast.
Yeah, okay.
During their email section, they're getting anonymous emails from people claiming, one guy is claiming he's an industry insider, work contract or Epic, whatever. He said he had inside knowledge.
Sure.
Fortnite's not a real thing. And then they got a barrage of emails from Epic employees saying, oh, it's real.
Yeah.
So then the guy wrote another email recently. The original person said it's not real. Doubled down, goes, they're bullshitting you. Like, there is no Fortnite game. And then this happened. I'm like, oh, man, this is, like, too good to, like, hear this. So when I saw the announcement, like, oh, Fortnite's here, I'm like, well, that sucks for that guy. But, man, seeing it in action, I was like, oh, wow, like, it's actually playable. I thought it was just going to be like, hey, like, I didn't see the trailer at first on Game Informer. I just saw the announcement that there's an alpha or something you can start signing up for. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, cool, there's an alpha, but are you going to show anything? And then I saw the Game Informer link because I guess they have the exclusive for like a month or something for coverage. And then, I was like, oh, you can actually build, there you go, you're building the forts, you're doing the tower defense and like the horde mode. I was like, they probably, as you guys said, like they probably like the horde mode a lot from like Gears and like, but in like Gears' universe, like, we want to do something with this. This seems like more interesting. It's a little bit multiplayer focused, and it also taps into like creativity and building. That's like a big thing right now. I think they had just gravitating towards that, and I think those guys seemed a little bit. Yeah, there was definitely some like, not, I don't want to say bitterness, but like, man, it's weights off our shoulders that we don't have to like keep answering for Gears of War
it feels
all
like a
the time.
reaction to
Yeah.
Gears of War almost.
It's like
we're going opposite.
But it's also like, hey, like we can do more than Gears. Like, don't write us off that like, hey, Epic Games, like you've only done Gears, but you got rid of Gears now, and like you guys don't like making like Unreal Engine. You're not going to be like doing anything else anymore. You don't make games anymore. Like no, we still know how to like make games here at Epic. Here you go. Like here's Fortnite, and you're gonna be able to try it out. That's where we're letting signups. I felt like they have a little bit they want to prove and I think that's good because they have a lot. They feel like they have something they need to prove to people, but it'll be interesting to see what the alpha is like if it's just like one level or something. I'm actually curious to actually like play it and stuff.
I'd want to get a better look at it, but I will say that I'm very glad that it doesn't look like a Gears or an Unreal game.
Yes,
it has a very different look.
Doesn't even look like an Unreal game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
sorry, that's an inside joke.
Yeah, you got in trouble for saying Unreal game.
I say everything in the office that looks like Gears of War, remote, like generic, like gray palette, boring looking like environments. I say it looks like it's on Unreal. Like I even said Dark Souls 1 looked like it was on Unreal at one point.
That's why you got in trouble, you dumb. That game doesn't look like it's on Unreal.
It's on Unreal Engine.
like Transformers was on Unreal, and you could tell. You know, it's like, oh, this looks a little gross.
No, I mean, I think I don't know how many people are aware, like how like ubiquitous like Unreal is, like how many people actually like use Unreal for a wide variety of things,
Yeah.
and I think this is like as like finishing saying like Fortnite is showing like, hey, look what you can actually do with this. Doesn't everything doesn't have to be generic bald space marine like post-apocalyptic war type crap. Like it can be nice and colorful, but like still look like interesting and something that you will want to actually play.
So I have a kind of funny story about this game. PAX last year. I guess that was in the summer. What was that? Like August?
Yeah, late August.
Yeah. I was
Labor
dropping
Day
off
weekend, yeah.
a card to Jeremy, who's one of our bosses, and he was just like, meet me in this conference room. It's like 239E. And so I have all this equipment, and I have like this card that's got video on it, and I like barge into the room, and like I wasn't supposed to be in there, and they were showing off Fortnite. But it like was okay. It was like Jeremy's just like, no, it's fine. You can like look at these things. And so I'm like trying to talk to him about business, but at the same time like desperately trying to sneak peeks of this game. My impression of Fortnite is that it's like, it seems like it would actually benefit from a first person's perspective, but I think it's third person perspective because it's free to play. I think that it's kind of that MMO perspective of, oh, you got to see your gear. If you're gonna pay for gear, you got to see it. And honestly, I think that's the reason why it's third person.
Well, State of Decay was pretty cool, and that didn't have a first-person mode.
Was that a free to play game?
It was free to play, but
Okay.
it was the same kind of zombie surviving, format.
Yeah, but I mean, even like the way you move and look around doesn't seem to benefit from your third person perspective. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem like it is about like. Shoot, I'm having a hard time describing this, but it doesn't seem like your character really exists in that space so much as a like action platforming character. As much as
you want to see like if I'm assuming you're saying that like the microtransactions will be like you're buying like superficial gear for your character or something. So
I'm assuming that's part of it.
yeah, so like you want to see your character models. Like, dude, look how cool I look when I'm playing this game, man. I
Yeah.
get to see myself. And obviously, like, first person's a little bit, more twitchy. You're, like, moving around a little bit faster with the camera. Third person, like, you don't have to rotate as fast to see everything, so you can take everything in a little bit more, I think. Like, you have more situational awareness. Mm-hmm. So you're seeing more of the characters longer. You're like, oh, look at that guy. Oh, just saw him wearing that. How'd you get that? Oh, it's in the store.
Exactly, yeah. But it looks like it's
$1.99?
meant to be a twitchy game. It honestly looks like it should be a first-person game to me. It should be Minecraft, basically.
I think because you need to like build stuff and you need to like see like the tower defense. I don't know. Like that might drive me a little bit insane. Not I mean, yes, a lot of horror modes are in first person, but just looking at the little bit of snippets I saw in the Game Informer video, I think I might personally get a little frustrated if I had to play always in first person. I hope was there ability to switch back and forth between first and third?
They didn't show it off, but let's hope there is.
I think they need to have that. Like third person when I'm building my fort and like I'm checking corners, gotta make sure everything's like, secure. I want to be able to see third person. Then when it's like time for the gunfight, all right, when I'm getting into shooting, like, okay, I want to go first person for better accuracy and stuff like that.
Right.
Well, I play the survival mode in GTA Online a lot, and like thank God I'm in third person because I can see some guy running up behind me.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, in first person, I can't see around me. And you want to see 360 degrees, especially if you have like multiple windows you got to be monitoring.
Yeah, to me, GTA is just designed, I think, more for third persons, more for the my gosh, like the running. It's like you have tall buildings in GTA.
Right.
I guess you.
Well, you can
tall
build buildings, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I haven't seen enough gameplay to really make a decision. On that.
GTA. Oh man, what do you like buy in that game?
What do you buy? You buy guns. You buy ammo.
Yeah,
You buy clothes and hats
that's what I feel. It's like
and cars
you're buying clothes and hats, Brandon. Just
and cars. You buy cars. Cars
Okay.
are cool.
Yeah, is it going to
Fancy
show
cars.
off your cars to the other people in the game? Can someone steal your car?
Yeah, driving cars.
Can someone steal your
Sucks,
car?
right, bud? What?
Can someone steal your car that you spent
Yes, you can set up controls that you can turn that off and say, I don't want to do that. And I think it's like at level 50, you get a bomb, so you can park your car and just wait, and a guy will get in and drive off. And,
Yeah.
and you can hit it anywhere on the map, so you can wait till he drives for like 20 minutes. And you can see his little dot going up the mountains, and you're just like, hey, buddy. And you can like send him a message like, what? Like,
You can send him a message when he gets in the car,
well, you can see his gamer tag, so you can, or his profile, so you can send him a message on Xbox.
and
Like,
then
thanks for taking my car.
once it explodes, do you get it back?
Yeah, I think you have to pay money to get it back, or you can get insurance on it. I actually haven't. Marco will spend hours. I try to do missions and make money and stuff, but
Yeah.
like Marco will just goof around for like
The
3
art
hours
of a
straight.
troll, yeah, it's a great
just
troll.
troll people. So he's a better troll ninja in GTA Online than I am.
You're just doing good.
We're
and
off
making
topic.
Money. No, it's fine because that's actually the end of our episode. It's time for bets.
Woo!
Yeah. So
I have a bet this time.
Oh yeah, we made a side bet. Me and Brandon made a side bet last night because tomorrow's GT countdown will be. This is, I guess, our official announcement of what the GT countdown is going to be. We're doing top 10 man babes.
Right.
Top 10 babes who are men.
Right.
Is our countdown next week. Brandon has to read this whole thing with a straight
I already
face.
read it. Yeah.
How'd you
That's
get?
There is one take where I'm about to laugh, like I'm about to lose it. I'm curious if the editor's going to use it.
Basically,
But,
the list exists because like we did so many. There's like 3 different top 10 like women babes in the past.
right.
So it's like setting the universe a little righter.
A little bit.
I guess is the idea.
Didn't feel right.
Brandon's nervous it won't do well. He's nervous it won't be clicked a lot.
I'm not nervous. I'm pretty positive. I'm actually very calm with the fact that it won't do well because I'm so assured.
So I took that bet. I think there's a ton of people who would click on that thing. So the bet is,
The one we did prior to that was the time travel games,
yeah,
which was my idea. I like that. I put some work into that. Whereas
Yeah.
Man Babes was not my idea. I did not support it, and we still ended up doing it. So if I think
And I
time travel will
passed
have,
my entry off to Megan, so that
I
worked.
think
yeah,
by the next recording of GT time,
yeah,
time travel will have more downloads than Man Babes
clicks.
or clicks. Yeah,
Yeah. And
which you can
yeah.
see on GT, so everyone else can track it. At
Exactly,
home.
yeah. And they could even if they like you more, they can keep clicking on time travel to get the views up on that.
And I just want to point out that you are essentially advertising this review. So, there are people who watch GT Time that'll be like, I want Brandon to be wrong, therefore I will go watch that review.
It could really work either way, but we have to accept that. If Man Babes gets more clicks than time travel games, Brandon, in his next entry on a GT countdown, has to put the word awesome somewhere in it. And vice versa. And so our big bet this weekend is a PAX East. And a fun thing about PAX is that it always ends with this thing called the Omegathon, which is a games tournament where they pick lots of different games from different genres, and people play through those. So you have to be a very flexible game player to actually win the Omegathon. The last game in the Omegathon is always a mystery. It's always a fun thing where they announce it right there at that moment. Our bet for this week. What year was the final game in the Omegathon released? Who should go first? I'll go first. The game was released in 2009.
2002.
1992.
2003. That's what I had from the start as soon as he said it.
I think that was a value bet.
I actually was going to pick something in the
Nope.
80s, but does it have to be a multiplayer game?
No. Oh, kind of. No, it doesn't actually. No, they can just do any game where there's a
Like
score.
try to get a high score or something.
Yeah. Those were good bets. I
See.
was expecting someone to do our year, or 2013 at least. Because sometimes they'll do hey, here's a new game, at the end.
That'd be stupid.
Okay, sure.
I don't know why, but I don't like it.
So we do have to settle last week's bet. Last week's bet was what version the Elder Scrolls Online would be at right now. Everyone bet way too high. We should just end the drama there. It started with Damiani. He's just 1.1. Do you realize how long it takes for 1.1 to come out?
Yeah, that's why I asked you what version they were starting at.
They started at 1. They started at version 1.0000.
Okay, we didn't even know that.
Yes, we did. Okay,
No, we
so
didn't.
the actual version the game is at right now is at 1.0.0.
What?
0.964485, which means I won with my bet of 1.08, which was also way too high.
I can't believe that that's the numbering system. for
That's
that
the
game.
number. Yeah, look how crazy
Is
that.
that the
how many
number? The
decimals they put
top
there.
left or something where it says VR something?
It's actually on the bottom for their game, but yeah.
Okay, because in Final Fantasy 14 they have a crazy number like that.
Sure.
But every one of us were on patch 2.2. But it says 2 point whatever blah blah blah. No one refers to it. Everyone says 2.2.
I feel like you did.
So I feel this is still version 1.0. Internally, Elder Scrolls development team is this is 1.0.
Even if it is 1.0, I win that bet because I think.
No, you do. You totally win that bet.
Yeah.
But this number's nonsense. No one cares about
this
this.
number has to have some kind of meaning, but I don't know what it is. So.
It means they're aware they're going to do lots of different versions.
This means something.
So yeah, I'm sorry for poor Brandon, for poor Bloodworth, because you just had your bets made for you.
That's fine. I never win these anyway, so.
So, in fact, I do win, so I get to do the close for the show. Everyone, thanks for watching. Please leave comments about how you wish for it to improve still, because that's why we have microphones this week, because people complain about audio. It's good
I
to
have
complain
audio
sometimes.
engineer friends emailing me.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, complain about whatever you want to. Let us know what you do like in case you like anything about this show. Thanks for listening, if you're listening to the podcast. And here are our Twitter names, all there. Damiani Squish Tiz, I think?
No, I made like an extension, so like the text.
Yeah, I'm sure that's
That's
gonna
not
work.
going to work.
Oh,
No, it's
totally.
not.
Magic.
Okay, that's the show for this week. Thanks for watching, everybody. Goodbye. Let's punch
We
out.
have budget.